Welcome to another thrilling episode of Filmatic. Today we are honored to introduce an influential and pioneering editor whose dedication to the art of storytelling has left an undeniable mark on South African film and television.
As a story editor, all you are thinking about is how can I make this person believable? In those seconds and frames, we are judging every single thing.
She's a 4-time SAFTA award-winning editor who has worked on some of the most talked about productions in the country. So this is your 5th nomination?
No, actually it's 6.
Also, you've been nominated 6 times, won 4.
4. Why am I saying 5? Because I'm ready to win this year.
Yeah. Bongi continues to push the boundaries of storytelling, ensuring that each project touches and leaves a lasting impact.
I've seen more people reference the river, and I'm like, yeah, I know that scene. I edited that scene.
Please join me in welcoming the queen of cutting, Bongi Malefo. Sweet.
Happy to be here.
Oh man, let's get this party started.
I'm an African. Are you African? I'm an African. Everybody's an African. Feels good, right? Feels good. Feels good. Feels good. It feels good every day when every African turns and shines my way. All my brothers from Zaire, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. It feels good every day when every African turns and shines my way. All my brothers from Zaire, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. I'm from the continent of refugees and rebels, where minds are richer than all rubies and marbles. Life at its best, view it from all angles. No longer do we wear shackles, but life's bangles. AIDS increases, the poverty's in levels, where flowers blossom every day in hard grovel. Traditional acts just brings out the marvel in every African's heart filled with sorrow. Wait for tomorrow, but the road remains narrow. African minds sharp like bow and arrow. We're aiming for higher places, man, I tell you. Communication through rhythms until I see you.
I'd like to thank God I got loose like black thoughts.
Welcome to another thrilling episode of Filmatic. Today we are honored to introduce an influential and pioneering editor whose dedication to the art of storytelling has left an undeniable mark on South African film and television. Her name is Bongi Malefo. With a profound passion for shaping narrative, she brings an unparalleled precision to her craft, transforming raw footage into captivating visual experiences that engage and move audiences. She's a 4-time SAFTA award-winning editor who has worked on some of the most talked about productions in the country, including the hit series How to Ruin Christmas, The Brave Ones, Entangled, Stoked, The River, and the long-running shows like Scandal, Backstage, and Rhythm City. Her technical expertise and creative insight make her one of the most sought-after editors in the industry. Bongi continues to push the boundaries of storytelling, ensuring that each project touches and leaves a lasting impact. Now, please join me in welcoming the queen of cutting, Bongi Malefo. Hey.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great.
Sweet.
Happy to be here.
Oh man, it's so great to have you here.
Thank you.
Let's get this party started. How are you?
Excited.
I'm excited. Whoa, I'm not sure if we've had an editor yet. I don't think we have. This might be our first time.
I wonder why.
We're new. We're getting there.
Okay.
And we're going to get to all the disciplines. Today we're cutting.
Nice.
Please explain to us. Again, there's a Wikipedia, whatever. What is an editor? Let's start there, and then let's even break down what the post-production process is.
I'm a story editor.
Okay.
Would you like to talk about that? Because that's what I know mostly. There's color editing, there's sound editing, there's VFX. That's all part of editing as well.
Let's talk about story editing.
So straight from the script, the director does what they need to do, and then you are the first person. I mean, after the assistant editing, that's a huge process. But when it comes to how it's going to end up looking like, you have an editor who does the story better than whatever happened on set or on paper. And then it goes through the other processes of editing.
Now, editing, from my understanding, there's offline and there's online. Break it down to us.
Offline editing is part of that, the story. So all the way from camera department and the DIT, they capture what happens on set with the director. That's the beginning of editing for you, because the DIT has to file all the footage properly, and then it goes to the assistant editor, who even does a much better job. Because sometimes you have scenes that are scenes within scenes, and somebody has to read the script, check the footage, and file it in that proper way. That's why I said that's the most important thing. As a story editor, all you are thinking about is how can I make this person believable? And it usually comes from the performance of the actors. And at the same time, you have to be looking out for boom shadows and something that happens with the light, flares sometimes. Some productions can't afford to clean those things up. And it used to be pretty, I think, the first time. But now it's like, let's just keep things simple. So editing is moving to even, like I said, there's VFX and online. You have to, as a story editor, you still have to think about all of that. Now there's even another level of editing to the music. What the producer wants to see is something that looks ready for TV. So you can have your composer, that's another editor in the post-production space. That person will still sit with the producer, have their processes, but because most of the work happening offline, they already have an idea, how do I want this thing to sound like? So they can compose anything closer to what the editor had come up with.
Let me dive into something else first. You could have been an assistant editor and made a career out of it. Is that a real, like you can make a person can be an assistant editor. What do they do? And how is it that you can make a career just of that?
Yeah, to be honest, I think most of the time you get called to watch what the editor has done. And you must be like, give notes. You must give notes. So yeah, like they want to hear your opinion. So editing is that we're judging in those seconds and frames. We are judging every single thing, that blink, that everything you are judging. So when you're an assistant and you've done your work, it's filing. I call it filing work because you have to put everything in order and it's fine. But the main thing is for me was when these editors would call me and ask me, what do you think about this scene? And we are discussing the story. Just nitpicking on the story makes it so much fun.
And you, what's your story in terms of where did you start? Because you didn't just arrive and you're doing all these huge productions. Where was the start? Did you even start as a storytelling editor?
In my head.
In your head?
In my head, I started as one. I wanted to be a story editor. I come from Rustenburg, and what I remember is not having a television set or having it a black and white one that uses battery, and sometimes the battery's finished, so you go to your neighbors to watch the story. And mostly at home, the things that they would watch, besides music shows and, like you watched what was on TV, and it would be the news. They're following the news. And I thought in my head that I'm going to be editing how the news is told. And fast forward, I was going to register for a different course and somebody told me that they are studying television adverts. And I was like, what, wait, you can study that? So it all came back to me that I wanted to tell stories like that. And I just literally made a U-turn and I went to the Vet School of Art, registered for a television course. It was started by ETV as just a course at that time. And I remember the year I was there, we had cool people, like HP was in my class and he was way too creative. It was fun working with him. You have 4 terms of school. So in each term, you'll have like a week to go do practicals. So it was mostly that. And the theory was just a little thing. I don't know how it looks like now. I should actually go and visit because it's been like 19 years since I graduated.
19?
Yeah, 19 years.
Wow. Wow.
So
that's a wow.
Yeah, that's how I got into it.
So did you start on like Avid or were you?
I think what we had at base was called Casablanca. It was a VHS thing. It didn't make sense, but I don't know what we're doing. I remember even the stuff I used to do was so ridiculous. Like I'm gonna say this, but you really can't learn story editing at school in 2 years or 4 years.
I think you're absolutely right on that. For me, some of the best filmmakers I know never went to film school.
Yeah.
In fact, I feel like film school started for me as soon as I graduated.
Wow.
That's when I feel.
Yeah.
How do you think they should approach, let's say you don't go to film school, how do you think one can learn how to edit them?
You can tell a story because you are born with it, but remember you work within a team. So you have to be able to make films for other people, not just yourself. So there are people who can go out there on their own and do it. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying at the level where you are thinking, I need to reach a worldwide market, it can't just be your raw talent.
I see.
That's what I
see.
think.
So at which point in your career now do you feel you're Guti? Okay, now I'm a storytelling editor.
What? There's no such.
There's no such.
I'm doing a great project and I cry. Well, now I don't, but I cried most of the times.
Is it?
Because you're not working alone. And you might have an idea of how I want to do this. So until you are able to explain why you made the choice that you made, then you can say, yeah, I did this for myself. As a story editor, you are literally looking at a frame. A frame is how many? 25 in a second, right? So you're watching all of that.
Wow.
Literally, you have to.
And to you, what is a smooth post-production process, the workflow? How do you get that right?
People don't get it right. They always changing things, trying to fix things. But you just get lucky. There's something now called the supervising editor, who's going to try to be like, they used in this many episodes, this establishing shot came too many times. Somebody needs to be on top of it to make sure that we are not repeating things or the story is, moving smoothly. And at the same time, it doesn't work. Like it works on paper and then it won't work.
Okay.
Yeah, because then they are editors as well. And it's a competition. Whether we like it or not, it's a very competitive skill. And because once you've made that decision that I want to tell the story like this and then somebody gets it and you hit them at that place, you nailed it. Who doesn't want to make people feel like that? That's why we do what we do. Now, if you miss it, and your colleague, because now we work in groups, if you think about it, because it will be a series. You can't have one editor doing all 13 episodes. Then you have other people. You constantly have to work together, watch each other's episode. But at the same time, when somebody comes up with the best cut, like maybe a progressive one that you think, what? I didn't even miss that walk or whatever. You feel good. It's competitive. So now you have supervising editor who then doesn't know which line of it does he fall or she falls. Are you an editor or are you there to elevate and keep the story moving? And then it becomes, I'm the head of the editors. Sometimes it gets there. That's why I'm like, it's luck. And because of the industry we're in, it's small, yet it's big. Because at any time you can open it. And people open it when they want to. But most of the times, you'll find that a director wants to work with a certain editor. I have directors like that who, like, I'll wait for you. Are you going to be free in 3 months? I'll wait for you. And I'm like, are you serious? You get to that point and then it's smooth. It's fine. You know what each other wants. But then sometimes you in a job with people who needed to, it's a numbers game sometimes for producers. I need to get this thing out the way. Then, it's not great, but time is money. So if you got more time, everybody wants more time. Even when you give somebody 3 months to do one episode, I do that now, by the way.
You give him 3 months?
No, I get that. I'm an editor, not a producer. So a producer will give me 3 months to do a 30-minute episode. And then if something happens on set, like they must extend and now I'm there, so give her a week, there's still so much to do, right? So more time I think is what would make everybody's work better.
Does editing really take like that long? I fight with the editor who edits the show a lot. He and I fight. Even the guy who mixes, we have logged heads like, guys, why is this taking so long? Like, why?
Because it's 25 frames in a second. And like I say, there's just, if you give them time, they will find a way to do it differently. And then you have to be able to walk away. That's some things that makes it hard when you work with somebody who doesn't know how to let go. They're perfectionists and they forget that it's just television. Some people are not going to see these things. You are seeing it because you've been looking at it over and over again. So yeah, it's really, really hard. And I think all we need is time. But again, the more time you give me, the more I'm going to take it somewhere else. If you can afford it, yes.
If you can afford it. So is it good to give the editor more time? We're honest.
If you're going to pay them,
This is like, this is a catch-22.
I'm at a point where I'm not taking a rate. What when they give you a job and they like, this is how much it's gonna cost. Like I said, something happens on set. Now you are waiting for a month for the scene or a week.
Okay.
But it's on you. You know,
how do you charge that?
per day.
Per
Per
day?
day you are asking me to be there. You gotta pay me per day, because
Oh wow! I don't, when we're young in the industry, we don't know those things. Like, let me charge per day. How did you maneuver that? Just finding
I don't
out?
even know. Hey, like I said, I come really from not much money wise. And a friend of mine the other day was like, you know what I like about you is you never stopped thinking about money. So that contract, the ETV contract I got 19 years ago, that was permanent. And the people training me are not even permanent there. They got their yearly contract on the Scandal show. I'm like, why do I have this? But, I don't know how the mind and energy and stuff works, that I wanted to be at a news place and get a job like this. I don't know. So then the next year, I think the increase was like maybe 70 rand. I can't remember, 170. I don't know how they calculated it. 90. I don't know. Okay, I don't even care too much about numbers like that. I just respect money, and I just remember thinking 200 rand or whatever for a whole year. That's all I get, and I send a resignation just like that.
Wow.
And I just like that got a job that was paying me 3,500 a month. That time I didn't even know how to open a laptop.
Okay.
And it didn't matter.
Why didn't it matter?
Because that's not what an editor is. Like, that's just a tool. Like, you asking me softwares and stuff. That's just a tool at the end of the day.
Okay.
So, I mean, I didn't know it at that point. But if I need to get somewhere, I need to move. And I just knew that I needed to get to a place that really pays me well. That was part of it. Like, it's crazy, but I made it part of it. And that way you don't get abused. And you don't even need to know the budgets to know that our industry has enough money. And what we need to be doing is just basically, what's the right word? Keeping it safe for the next generation, so we don't mess it up, like a producer wanting to do a 12-month shoot in 6 months, because then people are tired and they give up and they don't want to be part of it. And the money is there. Like, that's it. So I always tell my editor friends, like, this what I just told you now, that I'm not going to ask for or an episode we are paying you this much. No, ma'am. I want, how long is it going to take? You want me for 5 days to edit? That's how much it's going to cost me. And I'm now having that conversation with my editors. So I always have made it about that, because why not? Then that's how you stay happy. And teaching. I love anybody who asks me. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And I teach them. And then make calls like, I know somebody who can do this for you.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I just told the producer the same thing. When she asked me for an editor, I'm like, there's somebody. So I will teach these people. I will do that because I'm happy where I am. I have the time to do that and the resource.
So when you left ETV as well, that was you leaving shows like Scandal.
Yeah, Scandal and Backstage. I think I was an assistant editor then. I was an assistant for 10 years. And I'm not saying people must do that.
Okay.
I was not an assistant for 10 years because I was scared or any of this. I was happy to be an assistant. I had found out that you can make a career out of this, and I thought I'll go international as this master assistant editor, because I remember at Atlas Studios, there's Quizzical on the other side, and there was Tom Pictures on the other side.
Yes.
And they were all doing amazing shows. And I was the only assistant editor there. So I felt I was doing a great job. I was needed. I could go with this. And then by chance, the same person who gave me a job at Scandal was giving me 10, that must have been, 10 years later, she quit the job that I was meant to go and start editing with her. She was like, you are my assistant, but I'm going to get you there. Because I guess it had been 10 years in her head. She was like, why are you not editing? I was not thinking like that. And she quit because things happen where producers will piss you off and you're like, I'm not sticking for this nonsense. And then she left and it was like, go in. Literally, that's how it happened in 2015.
Wow.
A show called Greed and Desire, telenovela.
Greed and Desire.
Yeah, like I became the first editor there. And I think the 10 years of assisting, is really what made me be able to choose your material and do a better job. Again, it's a competition. There were 2 other editors, and so being a supervising editor or being a first editor, it says a lot about, you know, your skill set and all of that. And for my first job, it was really, really weird that they saw it.
But with those productions, like what challenges did you have?
Probably the challenge is that you're doing a challenging job, and sometimes the money must, you know, speak for itself. If you are being paid for this, you have to show up. But it hasn't been challenging. It's really been great, except for this job, which I'm telling myself it means I'm just stepping up to another space. Maybe my brain is just resisting the new move, and I'm loving it. So maybe it's a great challenge. It's a challenge that I needed.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think I've had a challenging job. I think it's maybe the hours, and, you know, excuse me, I'm a mom, and I won't lie, I've had to put the kids aside most of the times. And you just gotta do what you gotta do. And I make sure that my family is there, that I always have support. Like, I'm never on my own. Otherwise, you won't make it. So most people leave because time for family, for their kids. It just takes, yeah, I think that is the only thing. Like, but I love it. I love it. I want to be in that room. So it doesn't feel too much of a challenge. And thank God, my son, who's I had him in my last year of varsity, so that's how I can measure how long I've been in it. He's 19. I don't know, you know, he doesn't have mommy issues. So that's all you sort of want, that they understand what it is that you do. But I have a 5-year-old as well, and she's just like too much onto me. But then I have my family, and it's like I have to do what I gotta do.
So she doesn't come in the edit suite and you let her just sleep there?
I don't work from home.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to work from home.
Is it?
You just have to be your own everything. Like, if the bank asks me, are you a senior at work? I literally say I am, because I control my hours. I control how things are going to go, and I speak up for them. So I've chosen, I don't want to work from home with her. Yeah, the challenge is, okay, so when I had her, I was on my best show ever, my favorite show ever. And
What show's that, by the way?
The River.
I feel
We'll
like get to that later.
I feel like everybody was on The River. Was
get to that.
God sent. It was amazing. That was a great team. It was just natural.
Yeah.
Then I had her, and it went on for too long, 5-6 years, I believe. And in there, I had my daughter, and I was home, and it felt like you are being replaced because you are not around. And I was like, no way. I'm here. So I had to just leave it and go back to the office. Like, don't give me work from home because it's not enough. It's not complete. It's just frustrating. I'm coming back. That is challenging, right?
Yeah.
But I do know why I want to do this. So it doesn't feel like a challenge. It's like, you give me this, I'll find another way to get there when it comes to wanting to be the best editor. That literally is what I do.
I hear you. For everyone who thought we only do rentals, we've got something for you. We've just launched our online site. Please go to www.madshow.co.za and let's bring you out of the dark with Nanlite products. We're selling the latest and best in Nanlite and Kupo stands. So to upgrade your gear list, go to the site. We've got you covered. 1. What misconceptions do we have about post? You know, like I'm saying, I think I just mentioned Guti, the guys take too long. So maybe my misconception is that a post is actually supposed to be very short. What are those misconceptions, and can you clear up those myths, some of those myths for us?
Some of them are mine. Like, when it comes to time, people are slow out there. So I agree that it takes time, but some editors are just slow. So you honestly have to know your machine. Yes, I said editing is not the machine, but when you can drive that machine faster and better, you can take away 3 hours from your time. That's 3 hours to you. That's quicker things to your boss. It does take like time. It's not a misconception, but at the same time, you have to upgrade yourself to that level where you just are the best.
Ah.
and you just do it on time. And yeah, not another guy who is 60 years old who's been doing this longer than you is gonna take over. He will bring whatever he brings, but nobody will do it like you. You just have to be better. It's not a misconception. I think it's people thinking that you can just add lightning and then you have your rain.
Yeah.
Like, no, you are gonna have to get that rain machine and do it. So I'm going far, but it's producers honestly thinking that they can fix it in post.
Ish.
Yeah.
Is that something we should trust? Fix it in post.
As an editor, you don't say it can't happen. You say I will try, and then you come back and you're like, this is what I've tried, and they're like, oh, it's not working. Let's just leave it, But you don't say I don't think so. You just don't go negative. You're like, yeah, whatever you want. Every single note that is just like, didn't you say we must change this? Let's go back. You just do it. You should not even expose people. Like, the stuff you should not do in edit. Like, don't talk about people's names. Like, yeah, she said I must do it like this. It doesn't matter. The director, because what you get in post is your editor's cut, then you get time for your director's cut, then you get a producer's cut, then you get your broadcaster's cuts. And in that time, you can't say, oh yeah, the director wanted this. That's why I say you have to speak up for your cuts. It's so there's just some behaviors you need to do professionally that you wouldn't do at home. If you want to be as good as your last job, book the jobs and get the rate.
I see.
Yeah, get the rate.
But for those 4 people, the 4 editors you've just mentioned, who the director's cut, from whose cut is the final cut?
It's the producer's cut, and then the broadcaster will tell you, how about we do this? How about we do that? And then they can fight back and say, we tried, we don't want to. They can have that conversation, but not the director. Not much the
Shots
director.
I'm even trying to think of this question. She took me off train.
Sorry.
But please, just thinking back of most of the jobs that you've done, what was the most challenging and how did you get over the challenge?
I guess all of them are. I'm going to say my current job is challenging, but I guess all of them are. I remember the first time editing a drama was because I did good on Great and Desire, so the drama was an Oka production as well. Great and Desire is an Oka production, and it was called Harvest. And there was a fight scene there that showed me flames. I've never done a fight scene. You know dialogue, you understand your rhythm and pace. Somebody must stop up to this point for an impact. You need to go close up here. But when it comes to action that was badly directed and you have to make it right, I remember my commissioning editor actually calling it disgusting.
Oh, wow.
And I just remember thinking, how else can I fix it? And that was to chop it off. And the more bad things you took out, I remember reading, I had to buy a book and do stuff.
Okay.
So it goes to say that you don't get everything from school in 4 years.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a quote that said something about what makes Michelangelo, if I'm saying the name right, a sculptor, what makes him the best sculptor, and it was to take away everything that's not a horse. And then I went back, this is 2015, 16, right? Then I went back and I was like, every single punch, kick that's not working here, take it out. Then we had a cut. So that was challenging, and I've never forgotten that, and that happened 8 years ago. And currently, I've had that audio, editing to audio. It's not just, sometimes I can add a crazy song that has nothing to do with the story just so I can get your cutting points. But then when you are going to show this thing, you have to get a song that's going to move. So I'm working with an amazing guy, and he's taught me that when the story shifts, so should your song. So in one track of song, you can get the beginning, the end, and the whatever places that will go up or down or whatever.
Yeah.
So if the story just starts like this and everybody gets emotional and you start playing that,
Yeah.
then when somebody starts knocking and there's a danger outside, how do you now move it from so sweet, nice, they were making up, to danger is looming, and now with your cards you pace it up that you got your people's attention, your viewers' attention. So I didn't know that you can actually have 4 pieces of music in one scene. So you are busy searching for a song, tension, drone, it works. So what? The story has shifted and your music, you are waiting, the shift happens, you can move it up. So it was working with music and picture in that sense that was very challenging. You do too much sometimes, especially the whooshes. Like, have you seen how everybody has rams and you're like, what was that? So you literally have to find that balance, and with this music, it felt like that.
I laugh because my first year film, we had so many
Exact swooshes everywhere.
We thought we were so cool.
I know, right?
We were like, I was like,
Yeah.
now we're movie makers.
I mean, I was told one time that I need to go edit music videos. And I was like, I'm not a music video editor. Yeah, but we have montages in this series, so what are you going to do? And they had to bring in another editor to show me how to do that. And that's the best part, when you are willing to learn and to be criticized, and they know that, we'll get her the help that she needs. And that's how I've learned more and more, by being paired with people who know this much more than me. And you're like, why am I here? It's either you cry and you're like, I can't make it, I can't deal, or you are like, okay, show me. I had somebody sit and show me how to just map my keyboard. That has saved me so much time.
To map your keyboard.
Yeah, like your shortcuts, because you literally have to be like this. If you're not like this, your producer thinks, what the fuck is she doing there? Excuse my friend.
My daughter said, Dada, please tell them not to swear. What
What are you doing back there? That's all you get. So even if you are not doing anything, but they need to hear that sound.
The clicking.
Because what are you doing?
So you map it out on the keyboard. Would see this is.
So you'll check what's the main tool or function that I use a lot, and you're like, is there a shortcut for it? And let me tell you, with Premiere Pro, which I had to learn just recently, recently being 5 years, you can literally talk to Adobe and be like, how about you create this? And then comes these updates that you keep checking, and you'll see that they made something similar. Like, there's a whole community of Adobe that's amazing to be a part of.
Oh, wow. Which community are you? A Black Magic?
I'm none. Because at ETV it was Avid. And then 2 years ago I was in Germany for an editing thing that was all paid up, and it was great.
Lovely.
And then they gave us this very expensive masterclass. And it was Avid, and I was like, get rid of this thing. I didn't even know where to start. So then on The River, which was the best show again, they were using Final Cut Pro X. And that's just because, it depends who wants what. If the producer likes it and they edit, fine, let's use it. And because FCP7, was the thing, so X, and it's easier, like everything is embedded, your sound and audio, so you don't actually see your cuts the way you would see it on an Avid thing. When you make it smaller, you're like, what are those small pieces? It looks like, I don't know, some IT work, but it's actually just the stuff that you've added. You can't do that much intrinsic work with FCP. So it doesn't matter, but wherever you are online, you're always online trying to find out what people are doing, how to cut something better, how to do it better. Then you find the conversation going, then you add your own. I'm not like a nerd like that, and I'm older, I have a family. But yeah, there's stuff like that you can do.
You've mentioned The River twice now. How did you get on The River? And it was wonderful. Expand on that.
I'm very happy to say this person's name. Like, I'm such a fan. Johnny Babuzano. Everywhere I go, I sometimes I write his name down to because I've won a SAFTA 4 times, yes. And I want to say thank you to him because in every step of the way he was there. And I just forget because I can't believe I did that. But he is the person who got me onto the river. I was color grading on Zabalaza. That's literally how, before Greed and Desire, I started color on Zabalaza for a year. And then he was like, okay, let's give you an episode. And then I would do one episode and he would be so harsh. And I just remember thinking, what the hell am I doing? Anyway, then the Greed and Desire job came. He wasn't there. And then the river came. I'd like to think it was because of him that I was there.
Yeah.
And I remember what he would say to me 2 years ago. And then I'd still tell a story as per script. And sometimes as an editor, you want the other person to explain to you what the bigger picture is.
Yeah.
That's where you get it wrong. You have to figure it out. So this is what he did. He'd stand by the door and say, Bongi, this is what we have. This is what I want to feel.
Yeah.
This is what I want to see.
Yeah.
He's not going to say, cut here. Okay, stop. Some people literally work like that and they think they've made it. And you're like, no. You cannot just wait for somebody to say you need to stop here with that look. You need to go to that wide. You need to do that on your own. So he literally taught me how to see story like that, bigger picture. So you can have your shots, but at the end of the day, the viewer must be like, oh shit, he's bad. Oh shit, they good, because the way you line them up was giving you that feeling. So Johnny got me there and he did amazing stuff, small stuff like, I'm just saying this because I really love him. Yeah. I've seen more people reference the river on their, I don't know what they're called, those mood boards or whatever they send to get money.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I know that scene. I edited that scene. It was really, really great. And I edited the coolest stuff on the river.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What stands out for you in your head?
I mean, it was always the weddings and funerals. People loved, and the producers went hectic on those things. But I remember maybe a lot. There was one scene where they pushed a character off the cliff. It was badly shot. That scene belonged to another editor, so I was asked to fix it. Okay. And then that's where you realize you don't do things for yourself, by yourself. You might, I say the cuts and explain it, but my friend was able to teach me or help me do some tricks. So when you show this thing to the person who hired you, they don't have to ask questions. They don't have to imagine how is it going to be like, because you've built it up with the audios and the sound effects, like you've sound designed it to a place that it looks like you know what you're doing. And the research is that when somebody starts a movie and they don't finish it, they won't come back to it.
What?
Yeah. Like your Netflix 1, 2, 3 numbers.
Yeah.
How do they get those ratings? It's not really transparent. But because of that research that they do, they have come up with that they didn't finish that story, we're not gonna find you again or whatever. They have to make those that research. So if most people don't finish the story, it's hard for them to come back and finish it.
Oh wow. Oh man. At Mad Show, we care about your story, we care about your project, and we want to see you bring out the best results. So go to Mad Show Library for all your stock footage needs at www.madshowlibrary.com. Thank you. How many ladies are in the editing field? Do we need more ladies in the editing? In editing, I haven't met a lot of ladies who actually cut.
You haven't?
No, I haven't. Especially black ladies.
I think the problem is that people want to make it about a job. Okay. That's why I had to put the money in it, because that time you are in there, you deserve your rate. That's why it's a rate. It's there. Even Sage has a rate card that says, if you are this level of an editor, that's how much you must earn. So it makes it easier for you. But if you're going to be scared of money, money will be scared of you. And if you are scared of the money and there's no money, now all you are is just a slave. That's why they hardly come out of the edit. I mean, I know a lot of people who are actually physically sick from editing. And you're like, why do you want to do it like that? And sometimes a job, like I said, 260 episodes, you have to take it like a marathon. You must take care of yourself. You must do the right things. I don't know, man. I got fired from that river. I got fired from the river and I got rehired because like nobody could do it like me. I lived that show and I loved it like to my core and it showed. And when that happened, I didn't think, oh, it's the end of me. I was like, motherfuckers, I'm going to show you because you don't know me. First, you didn't need to fire me just because I was standing up for myself. Fire me for my job. That's what I'm hired.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a whole misunderstanding of
Ish.
what was happening with the post-production.
I see.
Not the production, with the post-production.
I see.
And when I was home, I had to work on myself.
Ah.
The books over and over, the research, the just reaching out to people or whatever. I didn't even have to do a lot of reaching out, but that's got me overseas. I just mean for getting work, it was, I don't know. I really don't know. It's grace of God. I don't go out there knocking for work. It waits for me. And I'm like, thank God, I can plan my life, my kids, my health. So, but at the end of the day, you have to be like, I want to win my SAFTA. And God gives you what you want. If you didn't ask, you don't get it. And so when I won, it's like, oh, you're going to recognize me. And now, yeah, it feels like there's not a lot of us because I really am working with 60-year-old white men. And you're like, it's fine, but let's keep the industry growing.
Yes.
Let's keep bringing people in because it has to, and let's support each other. Let's be kind to each other. Let's make sure people are paid. Let's do it right so that it keeps growing. And they also giving back to me. Like I say, it's been so new, so intense. That I know what I know now. I'd like to share it with somebody else. I mean, I've done those jobs where I meet up with them. They think we're on the same level, and I'm like, okay, I'll sit there. We're in one room. We have to watch your episode for 2 hours. That should actually last 30 minutes. So time is very important to me. And then they sitting there struggling over one small thing. You literally have to break it to fix it. That's editing. And then they'll be so happy. And in my head, I'm like, I'm giving you what you paid for. But no, they were happy with that because you take it to another space. So you literally have to just break the ceiling. I can't say I did. But I don't know another female story editor in Joburg better than me. No, seriously.
Talk, yo. You let them know.
But you literally have to make it. You have to make it. And I'm going to be with a few of them. I was nominated for a telenovela again.
So this is your 5th nomination? Wow.
Is it 5th? No, actually it's 6th. I lost the one nomination the other year.
Oh, so you've been nominated 6 times, won 4.
5. 4. Why am I saying 5? Because I'm ready to win this year.
Yeah.
So this year we don't know yet. We don't know the
So
date.
after you get your 5th, you will have had 6 nominations. You're
6
going to get
nomination, 5 wins.
Let's
I
mark
feel
my-
like I'm
mark
gonna
my
because both The River and Outlaws are in one category with another show called My Brother's Keeper. I don't know it. Maybe they're good. But I'm like, okay, it's already me in Outlaws and one in The River. So I must get it. Last year, I went there to have fun. When they called my name, it took me forever to get to the stage because I was like, I know they didn't call my name. So this time I'm like, maybe, like I said, ask and you shall receive.
No, another one.
Another one, right?
Be ready.
I have a speech.
You have a speech. Please don't forget to thank Filmatic for saying you're going to win. I know we didn't
After
contribute.
all my things, I'm going to do a Kanye West thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah.
Let them know. Let them know.
Yeah, how are you going to feel if you didn't get this?
And if I didn't
Win, how are you going to feel? I guess we'll never know.
something like that. But you're going to make it more classy, right?
Nah, but you know what? It's really not about the SAFTA. I've seen more people win them before me, after me.
Yeah.
It's how you work within a team. It's what you're bringing in it, yeah. So like I have a board all the time in my room and I write for like the month. Sometimes it's a week, depending on how hectic it is. And it's there that on this team, what am I bringing? What am I doing? And it's like an intention of mine. So I go to work every day thinking, this is who I have to become.
Beautiful. That is beautiful. And I'm going to end it on that beautiful note.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming through. I know this episode is going to inspire other young ladies to see, oh, flip, we can also do that.
And there's money.
And there is money. You won't be poor. You will have money. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was inspirational to me. I've
you.
even learned certain things that I didn't know about editing. I'm going to be tougher on CSA that he needs to get the edit out quicker. But thank you. Thank you so much. And I hope one day that you come back again and come talk to us.
Yeah, that would be nice when I've got my Oscar.
That's it.
It feels good every day when every African turns and shines my way. All my brothers from Zaire, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. It feels good every day when every African turns and shines my way. All my brothers from Zaire, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. Oh man, it feels good.
At Mad Show, we are firm believers that your passion is for you and your purpose is for people. And we want to continue doing it for you. So please like, share, and subscribe on our channel. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.